Thank you so much for joining me as I talk about the top 10 Nintendo Switch 1 and 2 physical games to buy before they become rare and expensive. And the first game that I have to cover is Yooka-Replaylee for the Nintendo Switch 2. And the reason why I want to cover this game first is because I've noticed ever since it got the free 60 FPS update added to it that you can download right now if you have the copy on your Switch 2, this game has pretty much went back up to full price, and it's hard to find this game anywhere for less than $50 right now, including on eBay, with a lot of resellers selling it for $50 and even above that. But I was able to snag this game on sale just a couple days ago on Walmart.com. On their website, they're selling it for $36.99, I believe, and they even shipped it out to me for free the very next morning after ordering it that same night. And I also did see a few copies left at my local Walmart of this game selling for $40. So if you can find this game on sale at Walmart, I highly recommend picking it up there, because everywhere else I've noticed is selling it for full price and even above that. And this is a classic old school, like, kind of collectathon 3D platformer, which was made by a lot of ex-Rare employees that worked on the Donkey Kong Country games and the old Banjo-Kazooie games. So this is definitely a game that I'm looking forward to playing, because I do like both my 2D and 3D platformers. Now, it is a bit hard to tell what the value of this physical copy of Yooka-Replaylee for the Switch 2 will be in the long run, because this was one of the earliest Switch 2 physical releases and it launched at $50, but since then there has been smaller cart sizes that have been introduced, so it's possible this could get reprints at cheaper prices. But at the same time, the cost of everything has been going up, so who knows if that's something that will even happen as far as true physical games getting cheaper. They could just continue to go up, but hopefully for all of us who like physical games, they can at least stay the same. The second game that I have to cover here is the Disney Afternoon Collection, and this game did get physical releases for both the Nintendo Switch 1 and the Switch 2, but I was looking up prices for the Switch 2 version, and I don't know why, but resellers are already selling it on eBay for well above MSRP, because this game is retailing right now for $40 physically, but resellers are already trying to sell it for $50, $60, and I think I even seen some listings above that, and I'm here to tell you, do not pay more than $40 for this game. This is a great physical collection with 8 games included. You have DuckTales 1 and 2, Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers 1 and 2, you have Tailspin, Darkwing Duck, Bonkers, and Goof Troop all included in this collection fully on the cartridge. But I would say I think they're going to want to keep this game stocked, especially around the holidays. So if you can't find it in sales, just wait until it gets restocked, and definitely don't buy from a reseller. But this is a really cool collection of classic 2D platformers, and I did get to check it out a little bit. I was just kind of enjoying some of the gallery art, some of the stuff you can look at in the museum. You can look at old artwork that they looked at to take inspiration and make the 8-bit and 16-bit graphics in these games. You can look at old cover art for the original releases of these games. And of course, as you play these games, you can use features like rewind, fast forward, and all that kind of stuff. So it does have all your modern day conveniences to make these games even better from the gameplay experience. And I definitely think this is a must-have if you like old school platformers and if you like true physical games on the Switch 1 and 2. Now, the third game on this list, I think, has a really good chance of becoming rare and expensive, because it is a physical release by NIS America. It is an RPG, and it is a Switch game that has released late into the Nintendo Switch life cycle, and it is a sci-fi turn-based RPG called Starbites, which I have not gotten around to playing myself yet, but I have heard that this is a true hidden gem for the Nintendo Switch, so I definitely do need to make some time to play this game very soon. And I also do have the limited edition box set, which I did unbox on the channel, so feel free to check that out. I'll go ahead and put a link in the description or somewhere. And shout out to NIS America for giving me this copy to unbox on the channel for free. Now, before I go on to game number 4, I just want to ask, if you're enjoying this video, if you would please help me out in the algorithm by hitting the like button, hitting the hype button, subscribing to the channel if you're not already, because I will consistently be putting out Nintendo Switch 1 and 2 content. But the fourth game that I have to cover here is Grimoire, once more. This is coincidentally another release by NIS America, and I want to go ahead and show you the reversible cover art because I think that looks really cool. This game also does come with a little mini art book here. We can see some of it right there. And the reason why I wanted to cover this game, even though I covered it way back in this series on the channel before when I was only covering Switch 1 games because the Switch 2 wasn't even out yet, is because this game has definitely become more hard to find, and I've noticed that a lot of listings for this game are listing it pretty high. I think I saw some going for like 60, 70, 80. I believe this game originally retailed for around $50, so I don't recommend paying more than that if you can avoid it if you want a physical copy. But this is a classic real-time strategy RPG or real-time strategy game by Vanillaware. This is one of their earlier games that originally came out, I think, way back on the PS2, but this is the latest version of it that you can play right now on the Switch with a real physical copy available. Now, to wrap this video up, I'm going to be covering some limited print physical games for the Switch 1 and 2 that you'll definitely want to buy if you're interested in them, because of course those games are just made to be rare by design. But before we get to those, I do just want to cover two more games from my own collection that are holding their value really well and that I believe could even become more rare and expensive in the future because Metroidvanias have just become even more popular over the last few years. And the first game that I want to talk about is actually a collection that has two games fully on the cartridge, and that game is Ori the Collection, because this game has a true physical cartridge that has Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition and Ori and the Will of Wisps fully and the cartridge. Now, these games are highly regarded as two amazing Metroidvanias. I know the art style, the graphics look great. The sound design is great because I have checked these games out a little bit, but haven't gotten around to fully playing them myself. But I am looking to get more into Metroidvanias myself soon, and these are definitely on my list of games to play. But before I get around to playing these, I do want to play another great Metroidvania that has a physical copy on the Switch. Both of these games that I'm covering are holding their value right now around $40, and you don't see them every day in stores. They do seem a little bit harder to find than your average game. And the next one is Metroid Dread. This is another critically acclaimed Metroidvania game that looks great, plays great on the Switch 1 and the Switch 2, and it's holding its value really well. This is one that I also believe could become more rare and expensive in the future, and one that I'm planning to play very soon, actually. Now, game number 7 is one of those limited print games that I was talking about, because if you haven't heard, Chained Echoes has gotten a true physical release from Super Rare Games. You can get it for about $40 right now for the Nintendo Switch. And this is a critically acclaimed indie RPG that has a Metacritic of about 90 and a user Metacritic score of about 8.4. I hear this is a must play if you like turn-based RPGs. And this did get a physical copy before from one of those limited print companies that to a lot of people ended up being a scam. People have been waiting on this game and a lot of other physical games that they ordered from that other company for years now. And they're saying that they're finally going to fulfill those orders. So hopefully people can get those copies that they ordered. But if you're looking to get this game reliably, you can now definitely get it from Super Rare Games. Game number 7 on this list is Formation Z for the Nintendo Switch 2. And I feel like this game just has Rare Game written all over it because it is a shmup shooter game. A lot of those games just end up being rare. It is a true Switch 2 physical copy, and it also is a limited print game by Limited Run, but you can buy it right now from Video Games Plus. They are selling it on their website, and this game is supposed to be like a more modernized version with new modern better mechanics from the original release of this game. I don't know much about the original, but this actually does look like a pretty cool shmup that I would be down to play. But with all these physical releases, I'm just having a hard time keeping up with all these games myself. Is that something you're having a problem with? If it is, let me know down in the comments below. And another limited run release for the Nintendo Switch that you can buy right now on Video Games Plus is Neon Inferno. Now, they have a reprint for both the Switch and PS5 versions of this game on their website available that you can order right now. It is on back order, but they say the reason they are able to reprint this is because it is a limited run distribution title. So it's not one of their numbered releases, but this is supposed to be a side scroller action gallery shooter with some cyberpunk flair to it. I don't know much about this game, but if it's selling out like that, then it must be pretty good from what I'm guessing. Before I get to the last game and end this video, I just want to give a little bit of advice because I'm somebody that definitely has a lot of game collecting regrets. I did used to buy games just solely based on rarity, and I would later end up regretting it, realizing that I didn't need those games in my collection if I wasn't actually interested in playing them, and then I would just end up trading them and taking the loss on them for the money that was originally spent on those games. Now, lately, I just try to buy games that I'm really just more interested in playing. But if you're somebody who likes to buy games for collecting, then nothing wrong with that. But I would just say definitely try to buy the games that you're more interested in actually owning or playing, not just for rarity. And definitely don't buy these games thinking you're going to get rich off of them because, you know, things are hard to predict when it comes to that. I think I have got a lot of predictions right on this channel, but not every game is going to end up being some super rare, expensive, holy grail game, you know. But with that little bit of advice out of the way, game number 10 is another limited run Switch game that you can buy right now from Video Games Plus, and that game is Ys vs. Trails Alternative Saga, and I believe this game just has rare game written all over it because this is a spin-off fighting game of two classic JRPG series, and it is a limited print, limited run game as well. This game does look pretty interesting, does look pretty cool, but I believe this is more for hardcore fans of these RPGs. If you're not a fan of these RPG series, I don't think you're really gonna like this fighting game too much. I have heard that it's solid though. But anyway, that is it for this video. I really do appreciate you watching so much. Don't forget to help me out by hitting the like and hype button to help me out in the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel for more content if you're not already, and I'll definitely look forward to catching you all on the next video.